And to break character means to remind the viewing public that what they're watching isn't real. It's scripted, it's fiction, and it's fake. The rule of thumb applies more so to pro wrestling than it does to film or television, because more often than not, there are no do-overs in the wrestling world. If Tom Holland as Spider-Man flubs a line or bursts out into uncontrollable laughter, he can go for a second take. But if he were a pro wrestler, he'd have to be reminded by Jim Ross that he's live, pal. And 2025, the art of breaking character is alive and well, as the likes of Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and Goldberg all failed a Try Not to Laugh challenge. Here are 10 WWE wrestlers who broke character in 2025. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 10. Solo Sikoa's brush with death. Now, it's a shame that it took a failed main event push to expose Solo Sikoa's true strengths, finding nuanced hilarity in just about everything. He'd long been known as easy to break. Sami Zayn got to him on just about every SmackDown during their shared bloodline tenure, and that persists in 2025. In what was actually a dark match taped after the Blue Brand's Halloween-branded broadcast, Sikoa, who was entering for a trick-or-treat street fight versus LA Knight, took it upon himself to engage with the fake skeleton atop the stage. He conducted an old bloodline-style handshake with the mannequin, causing its hand to fall to the ground, and Solo's mean-ass character fell off a cliff. It took everything within him not to burst out into laughter. Truth be told, this is the Solo Sikoa that WWE needs to focus on, not the Roman Reigns impersonator shtick he's been attempting for almost 2 years. It hasn't worked, it'll never work. This does though, and it's allowed Sikoa to find deep-rooted fandom that embraces his constant character-breaking persona. Number 9. Randy Orton wishes he didn't hear this voice. At crowd sing-alongs, do they belong in wrestling? Well, absolutely. There's oftentimes nothing better than hearing the live crowd belt out their rendition of Cody Rhodes' Kingdom, Seth Rollins' Vision, or Edge's Metal Ingus. Randy Orton's voices has become a favorite for fans to cover as the Viper stalks his way down to the ramp, but Orton probably wishes that hadn't been the case on this pre-WrestleMania 41 SmackDown. Approaching the ring steps, Orton caught an ear-piercing rendition of the iconic Rev Theory track, then turned to the fan responsible for butchering it and politely told him, harsh but truth, but it was a screeching cover. Number 8. Kairi Sane never forgets her manners. Traditionally, a pro wrestling heel will refrain from positive audience interaction, i.e. high fives, hugs, and signing autographs. If anything, they'll do the exact opposite. Feign high fives, scolding, and tearing apart signs. It's classic heel behavior that has been done for decades. Kairi Sane was never told. Sane, a dark side defector alongside Asuka, was in the midst of an otherwise random Raw tag team match teaming with the Empress of Tomorrow against strange bedfellows Bayley and Lyra Valkyria on the Red Brand's 3rd November episode. Holding Lyra hostage in an upside-down rope-assisted head scissors, Kairi dropped down, a smile adorning her face, and embraced some fans in the front row with high fives, all while the camera stayed on her. Now, she isn't the first to break character to such a degree, and she definitely won't be the last. But still, it was odd of WWE to not put the attention elsewhere during a character-breaking blunder. Number 7. Carmelo Hayes loses his composure. The Carmelo Hayes and Miz partnership won't be remembered as a pinnacle of either man's professional career. They were labeled Melo Don't Miz for a start, an obliviously AI-generated moniker. It has proven to be much of a career killer for them as Beaver Cleavage was for Headbanger Mosh. Their matches remain fun and well structured, however, take their SmackDown appearance from the Blue Brand's 22nd August episode. There they wrestled the Motor City Machine Guns in a winning effort that expertly highlighted both men's strengths, while keeping Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin looking strong and displaying a different side to Carmelo than we're used to seeing. Rolling across Sabin's bent-over back, Hayes stumbled directly into the blind tag from The Miz, causing a boisterous reaction from the evidently pro-Miz Dublin crowd. Melo either was taken aback or baffled by the reaction, losing it and chuckling his way out of what was supposed to be a serious encounter between him and the A-lister. Perhaps that's why Triple H delayed their inevitable breakup. They definitely had some chemistry together. Number 6. Solo Sikoa can't handle Jacob Fatu. Now, in the spring of 2024, WWE began positioning Solo Sikoa as a primary heel on the Blue Brand in the wake of Roman Reigns' post-WrestleMania absence. It kinda didn't work, and it destroyed Solo's career, and if anything, it left him strolling the mid-card drawing crickets by the year's end. The problem was that WWE desired an overpowering, calculated, and believable thug of a headliner. Solo wasn't that. He relied too heavily on Reigns' quick-witted appeal and bullish behavior, perfecting the cold-blooded second-in-command mercenary without overstepping. Had WWE played upon Sikoa's own strengths, though, then perhaps it would have been a different story. Let's face it, he's a comedian, capable of dishing out verbal jabs and finding inanimate objects to argue with. Solo's also prone to bursting into uncontrollable laughter, as he so eloquently displayed following Jacob Fatu's United States Championship retention at Backlash 2025. Walking backstage alongside Fatu and JC Mateo, Sikoa was seen in a social media exclusive video, sniggering behind Mateo as Jacob unleashed. Claiming that he would knock down all corners for his US title, Fatu stated, "I'm fresh off the scale with it. I'm cut all raw with it. You know what I mean? I just dog walk their ass." JC seemed hilariously puzzled behind his closeted smile, but Solo, he didn't even try to hide it. He would break before trying to get his composure back for the cameras. Number 5. AJ Styles' emotional farewell. Less so a moment of breaking character and more so a moment of appreciation for a modern Japanese wrestling legend, the send-off given to AJ Styles as he wrestled his final match in Japan was equal parts heartwarming and tear-jerking at the same time. Before landing in WWE, AJ spent 2 years in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the mountaintop of Japanese wrestling, and was a promotional ace, twice holding the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and multiple times contesting the match of the night. Now, we didn't quite deliver as high level of performance across WWE's 2 nights under the Tokyo lights, but it didn't matter. He was greeted like a megastar, as was evident at the end of the second day. Summoned to the ring by CM Punk and a freshly babyface Shinsuke Nakamura, Styles, after having Nakamura read aloud a touching note written in Japanese, was embraced by a slew of WWE talents, babyfaces and heels alike, with Julia, Asuka, and Kairi Sane, all three also being credible performers in their homeland, making up the dark side of this AJ Styles fan club. It was nothing major, as already tapped into, Kairi Sane isn't exactly known for being strict in her character alignment, but it did provide a glimpse at what a year-long retirement run may look like for AJ Styles in 2026. Number 4. R-Truth breaks John Cena. WWE's post-show press conferences never offered anything remotely interesting, the exception being Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso's cheerfully drunk ramble following Fastlane 2023. They existed instead so that Triple H can explain how much WWE's profits are up, all while making executive calls to cut masses of talent and significantly raising ticket prices. Following Backlash 2025 though, where John Cena headlined in a WWE Championship retention against Randy Orton, there was something worth discussing on social media. Cena, who'd turned heel 2 months beforehand, had agreed to be open and honest with the in-person media, but WWE being WWE scrapped that and sent R-Truth out and had Cena AA Truth through a table, setting up their Saturday night's main event showdown in what many felt was a waste of one of John Cena's final dates before retiring. R-Truth broke John Cena, mentioning,
"I'm so proud of you, even if people say you suck and can't wrestle."
He looked down to not make it apparent, but Cena had a smile beaming across his face. Truth had genuinely broke John Cena, but this wasn't the first time since turning heel that Cena had remembered how to smile. As number 3, John Cena is proud of John Cena. The effectiveness of John Cena as a heel ran out as he ended WrestleMania 41 draped in the WWE Championship, and it wasn't at the fault of The Rock and or Travis Scott. The heel turn should have never happened. Coming across as an angle done for the sake of just doing an angle, it left a sour taste in the mouths of many when WWE struggled to follow up on a turn that was full of levity and anger. That is the fault of The Rock. It was in the fault of Travis Scott that John Cena's final match on the grandest stage will only be remembered for the ear-piercing first note, a fiend. But it was John's fault that he couldn't be taken seriously as a heel because he would break character at any moment. Almost immediately after Chad Patton counted the 3 count at WrestleMania, Cena forgot which side of the fence he was swinging for, letting out a sly smile as he held a gold-plated belt above his head. The surprisingly positive reaction to the lame finish can't have helped, but surely John Cena, a 3-time People's Choice Award-nominated actor, could have done a better job at perfecting the art of a stoic face card. Number 2, Goldberg finds pleasure in pain. Gunther is an anomaly. Wrestling so atypically from the WWE style, the rugged performer mixes stiff slams with stiffer strikes, delivering a chop that is accompanied by a stomach-churning slap whenever his hand touches skin. Gunther's chops are so viscerally real that Bret Hart publicly called him out for hurting wrestlers for real, stating on the Masked Man show, "The best wrestling has to pretend to be real. That's what I did. I tried to make it as real as I could. Contrary to the Gunther guy, who seems like a nice enough guy when I met him, but I hate wrestlers that hurt each other on purpose." And many wince and cower once Gunther has welted their chest, but Goldberg, he laughed. Gunther's chops in Goldberg's eyes were akin to an early Christmas present. Goldberg didn't mean to break character, but he admitted that he expected more from the chop. The match, which was contested for the Ring General's World Heavyweight title, was also Goldberg's final ever match. Goldberg needed to look strong, and he did so before he'd even jackhammered the 250-pound giant into the mat. And number 1, R-Truth breaks the Beast. In 2020, Brock Lesnar, who was nearly at the end of his tyrannical dominance atop WWE, met R-Truth in a most peculiar segment that saw Truth declare for the Royal Rumble match in a bid to eliminate Paul Heyman. It broke Lesnar to a degree never seen before and led him to reportedly pitching for further opportunities to work alongside Truth, which became a reality in 2025. Lesnar, who was slated to face R-Truth's childhood hero John Cena at WrestlePalooza, once again met Truth on SmackDown's 12th September broadcast. Or so we thought. Actually standing across from Brock was Ron Cena, John's supposed older brother. Though it didn't result in Brock cackling as much as he did 5 years earlier, the Beast was left with another character-breaking incident at the fault of R-Truth. Uncontrollably laughing at multiple points during and after the interaction, the aftermath hilarity came after Brock realized he'd split his jeans while F5ing Truth. But there you have it, folks. 10 wrestlers who broke character in 2025. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.